Be prepared. Something rare is unfolding, and only a few were built to feel it, and you might just be one of them. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, the crescent moon, they're all rising in the early hours, spaced out, scattered, but present. It's not a perfect line in the sky, but that's what makes it more powerful. It's quiet, subtle, hidden in motion. And then there are the invisible ones, Neptune lingering near Saturn, Uranus hovering close to Venus. You won't be able to see them, but they're there, watching, holding the deeper frequencies of this celestial moment. Most people won't even realize anything is happening. But if you're watching this, something already feels different. That's because this moment wasn't built for everyone. It's built for those carrying the signs. The energy begins stirring around July 19th, a slow build, a rising pulse in the sky, and for those tuned in, you'll feel it before you even see it. The alignment is rare, but what it's doing is even rarer. It's reminding the chosen ones of who they are, what they carry, why they've always felt a little off. And if you've suddenly felt the urge to be alone, like turning your phone off or disappearing for a bit, keep watching, because there's one specific reason that feeling is hitting you right now, and it's not what you think. I'll explain it later. But first, there's something this alignment is about to do, and it's going to start pulling certain souls out of hiding, whether they're ready or not. This sky event doesn't just reveal planets, it reveals people. This alignment isn't just lighting up the cosmos, it's lighting up you. Jupiter magnifies, Venus attracts, Saturn defines. The moon reflects. When all of them line up like this, it's like a divine spotlight, and whether you like it or not, it's going to land on someone. And if you're one of the hidden ones, the ones that never quite fit in, never made sense to others, never could fake what everyone else did, you're about to stand out. Not because you want to, but because you can't help it anymore. If you feel like you could be one of the chosen ones, feel free to leave a comment below. You could even leave 222 along with it if any of this resonates with you. The sky isn't just a show, it's a call. And this is the moment where those carrying something rare, something ancient, start to glow in ways they never have before. Not loud, not flashy, but undeniable. The truth is, you've been marked for this moment long before you even knew to look up. And now the sky is showing everyone what you've been carrying all along. You won't have to prove anything. The energy will speak louder than words. What's happening in the sky right now isn't just rare, it's personalized. This planet parade is like a spiritual fingerprint scan. And if you carry the markings of a chosen one, this alignment is going to activate things in you that others can't even sense. Each planet carries a specific pressure, a signal. It presses on the exact traits that make the chosen stand out, not by forcing anything, but by pulling the truth to the surface. Jupiter expands what's already true. So, if you've been pretending, denying or pushing something down, this energy will snap it wide open. You won't be able to lie to yourself anymore. Not about what you want, not about who you are. Venus is pulling on the heart, but not in the way people think. This isn't about romance, this is about purity of connection. Anything built on fantasy or ego, anyone you've been forcing a bond with, that mask drops. You'll feel it immediately who's aligned and who's just there. Then, there's Saturn. Quiet, heavy, unforgiving in the best way. It tightens the path and forces the drifting souls to lock in. If you've been delaying your mission or second-guessing your purpose, this energy won't let you sleep on it anymore. It's time to move with precision. And just above it all, the crescent moon watches silently. No flash, no demand, just presence. That's what the inner ones feel like right now, powerful in their silence. Those who carry real power don't need to announce it. The energy moves before they do. But here's what no one tells you. These definitions, they're just the surface. There's a hidden layer in this alignment. Other signs are being lit, things that have never been triggered in you before. And if you've been feeling like something's been warming up inside, like something new is getting ready to land, it's not in your head, because the signs haven't all shown up yet. Not even close. When your truth comes from a deeper place, silence becomes the most powerful response. There are moments you've been in a room, a conversation or a situation, and you knew exactly what was going on. You knew what to say, what was wrong, what was coming. But instead of speaking, you stayed quiet. That's not fear, that's instinct. The chosen ones don't talk to impress. They feel the weight of truth, and they know when to hold it. That's what this Moon-Jupiter combination is pressing on, that sharp sense of clarity that you carry but rarely show. Jupiter is pressing on your inner wisdom, and the Moon is holding it close to your chest. Not because you're hiding, but because you already know that saying it out loud would be too much. The words are too sharp, too real, too disruptive. You've learned when to speak and when to let people figure it out on their own. But here's the twist. During this alignment, people will start to feel what you don't say. Your silence will have volume. The room will shift when you walk in. Not because you're performing, but because your energy is finally undeniable. And if you've been wondering why people are suddenly acting different around you, more reactive, more drawn in, more intimidated without reason, it's not random. They feel something rising in you that you haven't even named yet. So stay tuned, because this alignment is about to force out something you've kept hidden for years. And when it shows up, it's going to change everything. It's not that you're sensitive, it's that you're scanning more than anyone else even realizes. There's this moment after the party ends, after the group chat dies down, after the laughter fades, and the lights go out, and you're left sitting there feeling like you just ran an emotional marathon. Not because anything went wrong, but because something in you was working harder the entire time. This isn't introversion, it's not social anxiety, it's not just how you are, it's energetic saturation. When you walk into a room, your system, without you even trying, is reading everyone. Their mood, their intention, their projections, even their silence. The Moon, right now, is amplifying that scan. It's opening the emotional bandwidth wider than usual. You're not just talking, you're absorbing. Surface-level conversation drains the deeply connected soul, and then Saturn joins the mix. Saturn doesn't do fake, it doesn't do fluff, it filters out the nonsense. And during this alignment, it's doing it in real time, pushing you to notice what's not being said, what's being avoided, what's performative. So even if the experience is fun, your body feels like it's done heavy lifting. You're not tired because of people, you're tired because of the weight of awareness, and here's what makes it even more intense. You're probably the only one who notices. Everyone else moves on, charges up with attention, keeps riding the high, but you feel it in your bones, that crash, that fog, that weird silence after the storm of interaction. The spiritual alignment doesn't just make you more sensitive, it makes you more honest about the effect people really have on you. Some people fill you, others leak you, and during this window, the line becomes so sharp you can't ignore it anymore. If you've started pulling away lately, or if you're choosing your peace over popularity, it's not a phase. It's your inner system saying, we don't have time for what drains us anymore, and that's not weakness, that's clarity. When someone says don't go there, the chosen ones ask, why not? There's a pattern you've carried for years, maybe since childhood. It shows up whenever someone tells you, don't overthink it, or it's not that serious, or just let it go. And every time someone says that, something inside you refuses. You don't shut down, you lean in. That's Jupiter, the seeker. The one that isn't satisfied with surface answers. The one that can feel when there's more, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it takes effort, even if it means going where other people won't. But right now, Jupiter isn't moving freely. It's sitting right across from Saturn, the limiter, the denier, the enforcer of boundaries. This tension between them isn't just happening in the sky, you're feeling it internally. Part of you wants to keep peace, to avoid conflict, to do what's reasonable, but the other part of you, the part that gets quiet when things get real, it's waking up because it knows there's more behind the curtain. Curiosity is the code chosen ones follow, even when it makes others uncomfortable. This isn't rebellion for the sake of. This is what happens when truth lives inside you and someone tries to lock the door on it. And during this alignment, you're going to feel that pressure intensify. The urge to question what you're told, the need to explore something you were told to ignore, the strange pull toward topics, ideas, or intuitions you can't explain, and that's no accident. That's the spiritual filter tightening, separating those who follow the path that's lit from those who find the one that isn't. If you've been told, don't go deeper, but your gut is burning to explore anyway, trust that hunger isn't confusion. It's proof you're aligned with something bigger than rules. Because while others are settling for easy answers, you're getting ready to uncover what was never supposed to be seen. What if the reason people never get you is because they're not supposed to? It's not just about being different, it's about being designed that way, engineered from the inside out, to carry something the world wasn't meant to easily recognize. And on July 19th, when the planets lock into place, when Jupiter, Venus, Saturn and the crescent moon stand in silent formation across the sky, something clicks. Not for everyone, just for a few. You'll know it if it happens to you. It won't be loud, it won't be dramatic, it'll feel like a faint magnetic shift under your ribs. A realization you can't explain with words, but one that won't leave you alone either. Some people are born with marks only the unseen can read. This planetary alignment isn't activating the chosen ones, because the chosen ones don't get activated, they're revealed to themselves. It's not about gaining new gifts, it's about finally understanding why you've always felt the way you do, why crowds exhaust you, why small talk feels like static, why you say something simple and people look at you like you just spoke another language. You weren't meant to blend in. You weren't coded for mass approval. July 19th isn't giving you a new sign. It's peeling back the veil around the ones you were already born with, and that's the part nobody tells you. Chosen ones don't walk around trying to prove their uniqueness, because deep down, they're not trying to be seen at all. They're trying to stay intact. Because they know if they misunderstand me, I stay protected. This alignment isn't making you weirder. It's making the truth of you harder to hide. So if people are acting like they don't get you lately, if you feel more alien than usual, if you're starting to wonder whether you've always been speaking a different language from the rest, don't fight it. That sense of disconnection might actually be the proof of your Not everyone is meant to hear the frequency you carry, but the ones who do, they're waking up now too. When the universe wants to talk, it gets quiet first. Out of nowhere you feel it, that pull. Not sadness, not fear, just an invisible tug, away from the noise. You turn your phone off without thinking. You cancel plans you were actually looking forward to. You stare at the sky, or the wall, or the ground, and somehow it feels like you're finally in the right place, because no one else is there. This isn't escapism, it's not loneliness, it's alignment. Because on July 19th, the sky isn't shouting, it's whispering, and that whisper, it's not meant to be heard through a crowd. Venus, Saturn, and the moon are triangulating this magnetic field that does something strange to the spiritually tuned. It creates what looks like silence, but what actually feels like a transmission. You can't explain it, but you know I need to be alone for this part. The chosen ones aren't ghosting anyone. They're not withdrawing. They're making space. Because when this kind of energy hits, clarity doesn't come through conversation, it comes through pause, through stillness, through that moment where you catch yourself in the mirror, or mid-breath, and something inside just knows. You might find yourself going for a walk with no destination, sitting in your room longer than usual, not talking, not scrolling, just listening to the silence. You might even feel that strange sensation, like someone's about to tell you something, but they haven't said it yet. That's the moment. That's the message. Solitude isn't separation, it's spiritual positioning. So if you feel the urge to pull back, don't ignore it. Don't overthink it. You're not avoiding life. You're syncing with something deeper than language. The sky has aligned for this exact frequency, and it's not coming through likes or texts, or it's coming through you, and you're going to need the quiet to hear it. The sign is the thing you were told to hide. It's never random what people try to erase from you. There's always a pattern, something about you that just bothers others. And the strange part, they can never fully explain why. Maybe you've been told you're too intense, too blunt, too quiet, too different, too mysterious, too observant. You ask the questions no one wants to answer. You walk into a room and the energy shifts. Even if you say nothing, people either want more of you than you're willing to give, or they avoid you like you're radioactive. There's rarely an in-between. What if I told you the trait they've tried to dim was never your weakness, but the signature of your spiritual architecture? Every chosen one carries a signal that the world mistakes for a flaw, and the louder that trait gets, the more resistance you attract. Not because it's wrong, but because it reveals the person who said you were too cold. Maybe they just weren't ready for your clarity. The one who called you too sensitive, they were probably uncomfortable with how deeply you felt what they were trying to hide. The ones who labeled your calmness as arrogance, they didn't understand you weren't trying to prove anything. You were reading the room. On July 19th, this alignment doesn't just highlight celestial bodies, it highlights spiritual blueprints, and the things that used to be liabilities. That deadpan silence that always made people uncomfortable. Now it unsettles them for a different reason. Not because it's off, but because it's right. Too right. You become a mirror, a pressure point, a walking exposure field. Chosen ones don't get praised for their traits. They get punished for them until the world catches up. This moment in the sky isn't just about you finally embracing who you are. It's about the environment reacting to what you've been all along. So if people start treating you differently after this alignment, if they look at you longer, if they pause around you, if they don't know why you suddenly feel harder to read, don't shrink. What they tried to fix in you is the very thing the sky is highlighting now. Some people get triggered just by your existence. That's not your burden, that's your badge. Let's be real. There have been moments where you've walked into a room, said nothing, and still felt the tension, like you were the problem before you even spoke. You've been on the receiving end of side eyes, silent treatment, or straight up blame, and deep down you knew you didn't do anything wrong. But that's the point. There's something about you, your presence, your stillness, your frequency, that reveals what others are trying not to see in themselves. And during this alignment, that effect doesn't dim, it amplifies. July 19th turns chosen energy into a mirror, and not everyone likes their reflection. People who have something to hide might flinch around you. People who are living in denial might suddenly get irritated by your silence. You don't have to accuse, confront, or even question. You being there is enough. It's hard to explain this to people who haven't lived. Being the one that always feels off to others, not because you're doing anything, but because you're reminding them of something they're trying to suppress. And this isn't about ego. It's not about power tripping or superiority. It's about energetic dynamics. And those don't lie. The moon, Saturn, and Jupiter are combining forces to make presence louder than words, which means if someone reacts to you strangely right now, and you know you've been clear, grounded, and respectful, you're probably not the cause. You're the catalyst. Your silence says what their guilt won't let them hear. It's not a curse. It's a gift. But it's the kind of gift that comes with weight. Not everyone is ready for it, and that's okay. If you start noticing that your vibe feels heavier to others, if people start pulling back, acting weird, or even projecting their own discomfort onto you, don't internalize it. Recognize it, because that reaction, that strange tension, that misdirected blame, it's actually a signal, a confirmation that the energy is real and that it's working. You weren't made to fully land here. You were made to sense what others can't. Let's address the feeling you've never been able to name, the one you've carried since you were a child, the sensation of being here but not fully here. You walk through life like it's a set. The conversations, the routines, the little rituals people wrap themselves in, you can do. Sure, you can show up, laugh at the right time, nod your head, reply to texts, even go out and blend in, but deep down you always feel like you're watching it all from behind a thin glass. You're in the room, but not completely in the world. Chosen ones don't live disconnected, they live differently wired. It's not because you're broken, it's not because you're spaced out or ungrounded. It's because you carry something that requires space, a buffer. There's a part of your consciousness that never fully locks into the grid, not because it's resisting reality, but because it's tuned to something beyond it. This isn't some vague old soul cliche. This is literal spiritual architecture. You were built with a dual channel, one foot in the seen, one in the unseen. And the truth is, the more this planetary alignment tightens, the more that split becomes obvious. During this parade, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, the Moon, all casting down at once, there's an energetic pinging that starts to stir your inner radar. You start to feel even more disconnected from superficial routines. Small talk becomes exhausting, noise feels sharper, you crave quiet, not out of fatigue but because silence is where the signal gets clearer. You might even start to notice time bending, in subtle ways. You lose track of hours, people feel like echoes. Memories float up in fragments that don't follow logic. And the strangest part, you're calm through all of it. Not anxious, not confused, just watching. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.